pressure, which of course he is, because he's third on the grid and all eyes are on him.
I'll be glad when that chap in the Saab Viken fighter that we've just been seeing finally goes home. He's been nearly blowing us out of the circuit all day long. Two of the drivers, incidentally, who are unaccustomedly low down on the grid are Jean Lacey and his teammate Gerhard Berger, the hero Gerhard Berger of Austria. They're down in 15th and 18th places on the grid. You're looking at the eyes, incidentally, of Jarno Trulli. And if you see a likeness to the great Ayrton Senna there, you are not the only one. Alain Prost is his boss, 4 times world champion. He's standing alongside the young Italian at the present moment. This is going to be a 71-lap race. How many stops are there going to be? I don't know. But we're expecting most of the drivers to stop once, some of them twice. There are 4 drivers on soft compound tyres from the Goodyear mark in this race, and they are the 2 Sauber drivers, Johnny Herbert and Gianni Morbidelli, Jos Verstappen, who is the Tyrrell driver, and Eddie Irvine, Michael Schumacher's teammate. And that's Eddie Irvine's car to the right. So Michael Schumacher is starting behind his teammate for the 2nd time this year.
And it's now that the grid begins to clear and finally it all looks normal. Up to that point, it looks incredibly crowded as you're sitting in your car. And finally, they turf off the final mechanics and engineers, and the track opens up in front of you. Now, you have to be very careful not to stall the engine there, otherwise you have to start at the back of the field. Everybody looks as if they've got away cleanly, and moving into single file now for that formation lap. Villeneuve's the pole position man. He dictates the pace of that lap.
So now they come out of turn 1 and climb up towards turn 2, doing about 190 miles an hour when they're up to race speed before they back off into 2nd gear, 45 miles an hour. This is the highest part of the track. Look at that magnificent scenery in the background. They run alongside what was the old circuit from now down to what was the fabled Bosch curve and is now the Gerser curve and has been completely replanned. It's similar in outline to the old one. Downhill, this is it, turn 3, 2nd gear, 65 miles an hour. Back onto the old track now as we join Michael Schumacher, who incidentally has done 3 investigation laps before he formed up on the grid. He's in the lightweight car, having used the heavier weight car for most of the practice periods. Now we're with Mika Häkkinen, who is 2nd on the grid. They're out of the Lauda curve, round the Power Horse curve, climbing again to the corner which is named after Austria's first world champion, 1972, Jochen Rindt. And he's coming up to it now. You can see they're climbing, enormous grandstand in the background. Villeneuve, Häkkinen, Trulli.
Now Villeneuve will try to back up the runners now. He'll slow down, he wants them all as close to him as possible. That means he sits for less time at the front of the grid waiting for them all to form up. Should be 30 seconds, often takes 40 to 45 seconds, but Villeneuve really needs to back them all up. He's done that reasonably successfully.
And that corner in the background, very difficult indeed. A downhill right-hander, about 90 miles an hour, and a lot of people, including Damon Hill and Michael Schumacher, have gone off there in the practice periods. So now, this is the critical time. Villeneuve in pole position alongside him, Mika Häkkinen. Into the pit lane comes the Benetton. It's Gerhard Berger coming in. He'll have to start from the back. Maybe he's getting into the spare car, and that spare car is set up for him.
They've waved him straight to the end. He tried to stop at his pit garage, and now they've waved him straight to the end of the pit lane.
Watch the lights. When they all go out, there'll be a short pause of about 4 to 7 seconds, and then the 71-lap Austrian Grand Prix is go! Good one for Villeneuve. Trulli is coming up well. They all get away well. We're looking down now, and you can see going into the first turn. It's Trulli moves up into 2nd position. And Katayama comes out, and it's Mika Häkkinen in the lead. Villeneuve is down, and he's down to 4th position because there's someone else going past him as they come out to turn. It's one of the stewards. They bang wheels. It's Barrichello, and Magnussen is behind. A terrible start for Jacques Villeneuve again. Mika Häkkinen Häkkinen has got what he wanted. He's got a clear track in front of him. Jarno Trulli has moved ahead of Villeneuve.
And look at the steward coming up the inside of Villeneuve. Villeneuve is finally demoted to 4th place. A terrible start from him. Somebody's off in the gravel trap.
It's Barrichello, and it's not Barrichello into the gravel trap. Barrichello has come up past Villeneuve, and Berger has joined the race from the pit lane. And look at the gap now. Jack Villeneuve seems to be in trouble because Jan Magnussen in the second steward is swarming all over his gearbox. And there's already a big gap developing between Jarno Trulli, who's challenging Häkkinen, and Barrichello. Look at Magnussen pushing Villeneuve. This is the first lap. They're coming out of the ridge curve now into the last corner, the A1 curve, down to complete the lap. We're riding with Michael Schumacher over the line, and this is what we did not expect. I expected Häkkinen to go into the lead, but I didn't expect
Häkkinen has stopped, Murray. Häkkinen is on the side of the track. He did not pass the start-finish line. Mika Häkkinen appears to be out of the race. Trulli is leading.
Trulli leads, yes, indeed. Trulli leading. Barrichello is second. Villeneuve third. And the unfortunate Mika Häkkinen, yet again, so many retirements. 4 of them this year. This was the race he stood a very good chance of winning, and what a bitter, bitter blow. But now, the Bridgestone-shod Prost with the Mugen engine of Jarno Trulli, who is only in his 14th Grand Prix, is leading here in Austria. Barrichello second, Villeneuve third, Magnussen fourth, Frentzen is in 5th place. Michael Schumacher has already gained 3 places. He's moved up into the points, which is where, at minimum, he wants to be in the World Championship situation. He's in 6th position. Behind him is Coulthard, who's gained 3 places. Damon Hill has dropped 1 to 8th position. Ralf Schumacher is 9th, Eddie Irvine is 10th.
Well, look, and remember how well the Bridgestone tyres have been going all weekend. Again, in the warm-up, they were fast. Truly the fastest man on the circuit on that lap so far. Yes, he's good pace there. Häkkinen's car will not be easy to recover from there, but no sign of a safety car at the moment. David Coulthard had a great start too. He's up to 7th place. And Michael Schumacher just 3 places behind the championship leader and the championship contender, Villeneuve.
Well, everybody's heart will go out to Mika Häkkinen. Here's the replay. They're coming out of turn 7, the last one. Mika Häkkinen slows down. Jarno Trulli goes past him. Häkkinen pulls off. So obviously there was some mechanical defect. This is a replay sitting with Mika Häkkinen. I cannot say how appalling this is for poor Mika and for McLaren and for Mercedes. And that's the spinning Benetton of Gerhard Berger at turn 2.
Remember, he started from the pit lane in that car. That's why you see no other cars around him. He was already last and dropped it on that first lap from the pit lane.
Now, Trulli has got a supreme challenge. We've got 2 new boys up front. Wonderful for Formula 1. Jarno Trulli in the Prost leads Rubens Barrichello. When I say new boys, Barrichello has driven in a lot of Grand Prix, but not in the Stewart. This is his first year with the team. And his teammate, Jan Magnussen, in the second white Stewart, is there behind Villeneuve. There's Frentzen 5th. Schumacher 6th. Coulthard is right up with him. And this race is going to be very, very closely run. It's a difficult course to pass on, like most of them, but not impossible. A long way from impossible. Tactics are going to govern the race, I think.
And look at Magnussen giving... I thought I saw some smoke there from the back of Michael Schumacher's Ferrari. Could have just been from having locked a tyre, locked a wheel, but Magnussen is all over the back of Villeneuve. The Bridgestone runners have so much more grip in the early stages of this race. They were hoping the sun would come out. Their tyres are even a little bit too hard for the cool conditions we had this morning, and they have got so much grip.
Yeah, and I'm watching the temperature all the time. The temperature now is actually going down a bit, which won't please Bridgestone, and it will please the Goodyear runners, but it's only a very